Hey guys, Britton Allen here to do this post game here for this match.
Yep.
So,
That was painful.
well, yeah, a lot of things went wrong for the Tau there. Like I said, like I said before, she was going for sort of a moral victory there at the end to blow up the Raider and hopefully kill half the Cabalites, but
Yeah, it did not happen.
the Cabalites apparently decided to make armor saves randomly, and then the last guy who failed that, it's like, oh, I don't want to be the only one to die, let me make this feel no pain.
And made it. Because that is how the game wanted to roll.
What I thought was great was the first Shadow Stone attack on the Raider.
That was
She
not great, but it
was just like
happened.
It was like out of spite from her. It was just like, oh, you actually want me to do this, huh? Well, fuck you.
It's like, why, Shadow Son? Why? You did well with the Venom. What was different with the Raider?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean,
I have a few thoughts. So I'm a stubborn person. I like going with what's comfortable and what seemed to be okay, but clearly after how many games, it's not working. I'm not sure.
We've had two close games, and you guys won with the Talcrons.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm not sure having so many people clustered was a good idea from the start. I kind of I was a little over-eager originally when I deployed because I saw, his troop peeking around. I'm like, well, if I steal initiative, that's awesome! Look at all of them just smiling at me. I could shoot them with as many people as possible. Of course, I didn't steal the initiative.
Yeah,
and not only that, my infiltrate didn't go well.
Yeah, I don't think one should ever sort of base their deployment on stealing the initiative, because you're basically you're banking your entire setup on on rolling a 6 on one dice, and I don't know. I'm not sure that's the way to do. On the same token, there were benefits about clustering your guys there. It was actually difficult for me to set up earlier for the charge. I had to do a lot of looking because of ways to do it. So I ended up actually using the Death Jester because I could move him to the edge and then make a charge with him, and he would hopefully get all the Overwatch shots on him with a 2-up cover, and that worked out. But I mean, having to worry about 25 shots and then 20 shots and then 8 shots. I mean, that's insane. That was 18 plus 25, so that was 43 shots. Yeah, 43 shots. It still failed. To kill the Death Jester on that, I guess.
Yeah, that honestly could have hinted how this game would go. Because usually I would kill the Death Jester. Period. Not
usually the first turn he's available to shoot, he dies. He hung in there today. And
I think it's because usually whenever I kill the Death Jester, I had this thing. What is that thing? Right. Marker lights. But as we saw, guess what happened to the Pathfinders?
Turn 1, the Pathfinders
did not make it.
The Death Jester killed one of them, started laughing, and they went, fuck
they
this,
all ran
and
off.
left. They're like, nope, want no part of this at all.
So, definitely a few things I have to rethink going into the next game.
Well, I mean, I also got really lucky, I think, with the psychic powers I rolled. I had, Terrify, I think on most people, or most races, it's probably, you get that, and you're like, oh, what a crappy roll. I get that with Harlequins, I'm like, this has potential.
Lo and behold, my broadside didn't move.
Yeah, the broadside from the start, basically the Shadow Seer stepped out, made a scary face at it, and the broadside ran. It was like, nope, I'm done.
Backing up.
Bye, I'm done with this.
The entire game did not move forward.
It was like
I've
the
been
slowest.
frustrated with the broadside before, but it was like the slowest retreat.
Yeah, it was. It was the slowest retreat ever. It took 3 turns to actually leave. It's like,
if you just want to go, just go.
Yeah.
There's the door right there. Nope. Don't just slowly back up.
Just gonna torment you with hey, I might make it. Nope, fooled you. Hey, make this. Nope. Bye.
Did not happen.
Yeah. Shadow Sun hung in there like a boss, though, with all the leadership checks she had to make.
Oh yeah, she survived the entire game, except she didn't. She didn't, blow up the raider.
Well, she did blow up the raider.
Eventually.
The timing had to suit her. That's all.
The timing had to suit you.
It's just how it is.
Yeah.
She didn't feel like doing it on turn 2, so she was like, I guess I can do it turn 3. But turn 2 was just... She couldn't be bothered. I mean, her and the stealth team had dealt with the venom, and she thought she put in a good day's work. She deserved that break.
Apparently so. Even though Larry, Curly, and Moe passed before her eyes.
Yeah. It wasn't even her who killed the venom, was it? It was the... Whichever one it was you named that has the fusion blaster is
Moe.
So Moe killed the venom.
With the same weapon Shadow Sun has.
Yeah, with worse ballistic skill, apparently.
Such is hell life.
I will say, but like I said, I think I got lucky with the psychic rolls. Dance of Shadows is amazing.
That was
if I could pick a ability to get off Phantasmancy every time, it would be Dance of Shadows on top, along with Veil Series. If I could just point and pick that psychic power. If you aren't familiar with Warhammer, you don't get to do that. You roll the dice, and whatever the number comes up is the ability you get. Same for Warlord traits, so you don't get to pick the Warlord traits. And I got a really good one for this, especially since my troop was not in transport. Getting that instant 24-inch ignoring all terrain movement, it says ignoring impassable or anything else they couldn't normally go over. It's just a straight line move.
Which reminds me, I did have that Warlord trait as well for Master Vanguard. Unfortunately, which is I think part of the problem with how I've been using the Tau, I'm not very mobile. Oh. And I believe that the mobility needs to come from somewhere.
Well, you do have the crisis suits and the stealth suits, but...
That's true, and they do keep relatively mobile.
Yeah.
The Deep Strike actually came in rather well, except I was really hoping for that Raider to be destroyed somehow.
Yeah. In any case, though, like I said, that Dance of Shadows ability I got, that was... Like I said, that's all random. All of these Warlord traits and stuff you see us getting and all these psychic abilities... We don't get to pick those. If we could, then, I'm sure every single match she would have, we get to reroll ones on hits.
Oh, yeah. Shooting phase. Completely. That one. Every time.
Every single match, I would either choose between... I have 4... there's a Warlord trait on my light table for Harlequins that gives me +4 to seize the initiative. So I get to seize the initiative on a 2 instead of a 6.
Yeah, as if your initiative wasn't high enough.
No, seize the initiative. To start the game, so I get to go first.
Oh, that's nonsense.
Yeah.
I hope you never get that.
And you have to go, but I have to roll for that before the game starts, I think. And we would know if you're going first at that point or not. So
no, true.
I feel like if you know your opponent has it, you're just like, I'll go second. It's not worth the risk. But, there's some cool stuff like that it's like, if I could just be like, I'm going to use it this time, and I want this psychic power and that, a lot of armies and things would probably be very different in terms of strength, because if I could have Dance of Shadows every single game with Harlequins, that would be pretty brutal. You'd never... Because the Pathfinders can only stop one thing from having Stealth and Shrouded, and the Solitaire, the Shadow Seer, and the Death Jester, plus whatever the Shadow Seer decides to give. So I got really lucky with that. Veil of Tears is always nice. It didn't really come into play this time, but it's a good power for primaries. Psychic Shriek, I just never seem to have any luck with Psychic Shriek.
No,
but
I was going to deny you.
Terrify is an ability I would be happy to get if I were, especially because I got it on a Shadow Seer who had Mask of Secrets. So that was already -2 leadership. So you put Terrify, it's minus another 1, so that's -3, and then if a Death Jester were to shoot that target, that means they're taking a leadership test at -5, which that's basically on a normal troop. If it was just a strike team, your 10-man strike team squad, even with your cadre giving them 9, -5, you would need a 4 leadership, or they're running away.
Mm-hmm.
That's
nice.
crazy. So Terrify is an absolutely fantastic power to give your Harlequins. I don't really know if other races would be happy about it. because they don't really do the same leadership shenanigans that Harlequins do. So I have a feeling if you got it as another race, you'd be like, man, what a horrible power. But it's actually really good for Harlequins. So, I mean, I had a lot of luck there. And like I said before, getting the dance of mares or whatever it's called, the dance of it was the thing that let me give the 24-inch move to the troop, which included the Death Jester and Shadow Seer. And that was huge, because it would have probably taken me all game just to get that troop across the board, and being able to basically take 4 turns worth of moves and instantly is massive, especially when they're not in a vehicle.
That trait definitely canceled out your lack of vehicle.
It did.
It really did.
So if you guys remember, last time I said last time we did this post game, I had said I was going to try to find a slightly weaker version to bring. Honestly, I don't really know what would help make a weaker version, so I've just sort of been throwing different combinations of formations at it and hoping to, get something weaker. But I feel like this would have been weaker. I really do. If I didn't have that 24-inch trait, because the troop was not in a vehicle, so it would have taken it half the game to get across the board. And I ran the risk with the Raider and deep striking and had just the Venom, basically. And I don't know, I thought that this wouldn't perform fantastic, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't get lucky in this game. So, yeah, I mean, obviously things went pretty well for me this game. I'm not sure. I might try this formation again, just because I feel it way overperformed for what I brought. I really do. If it wasn't for that, 24-inch move, the troop would have been basically useless all game. In fairness, they were, actually, I guess. They eventually managed to kill 2 crisis suits, but it was pretty weak. The Death Jester, Shadow Seer, and Solitaire did most of the work again.
Yeah.
The Venom...
They're a pain.
The Venom killed a few, and the Raider killed all of your stealth suits, so...
Yeah.
The Raider did good work, even if it exploded. But still, it did, it pretty much made up for it, because what are the stealth suits for you? 90 points? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that entire unit together is 180 for me, so, it made up half its cost right there, just on the turn it appeared. And the Cabalites were still alive at the end of it, and they're half the cost of that setup. So, yeah, I guess it's not 180, it's 165, because I don't have one upgrade on. I didn't have the stealth or night shields. We never used them, because like I said, I corrected it when it came in, but if you guys were paying attention at the start, I said it had night shields, and it didn't. But, I mean, it is dice in the end again. I know
dice really hurt me.
I know we keep coming back to that, but, that can screw you over. And when we say dice, it's not just meaning the actual rolls in the game, but the warlord trait you get or the psychic powers you get can really have major impacts. She doesn't have psychic powers, but based on what I get, it does severely affect her. So psychic phase is kind of the one phase she's like, shit. I
hate the psychic phase so much.
Because you have nothing to gain from it. It's always just, Jesus Christ, please don't let this happen. So it's only negative. Psychic phase is only negative for you. And I guess the assault phase is sort of, but you get jetpack moves in the assault phase, so it's...
Yeah. I mean, the assault phase
at least you have something positive.
Painful when the Harlequins get in, but for the most part, I don't get super concerned with it. But in this game, that last turn 2 especially, was just... demoralizing.
Yeah. But, anyways...
It definitely made me think, though, of a few things that I finally do need to change up. A little late, I know, but let's see about seeing if I could think of something else to make my Hunter Cadre a little bit more effective at this point level.
Yeah, maybe changing... I don't know. I'm going to help, and we're going to see if we can look into some stuff for Tau to try to, beef them up a bit at this point. We know later on at higher point values they're amazing, yeah. But Like, right now, if I'm being honest, I don't think it's that I'm playing better than her, honestly. I'm not sure if we were to switch factions, I don't know if I would be winning right now. And Harlequins are supposed to be one of the weaker factions, so, this all kind of goes back to, if you guys have watched our, Meet the Players series of videos, one of the first things I said when choosing a race, I chose completely based on looks and the lore about that race. So I'm very strongly thinking that that's the case, because when you're starting off into a game, I think it's very likely that the strength of a race varies wildly based on what point value you're at. At 500 to 1,000 points, the tower kind of not a big deal.
I mean, the Overwatch. At least the way I've been bringing them.
Well, the Overwatch is super scary. It absolutely is. And some of their special rules are absolutely nuts, and you could see just becoming absolutely game-breaking at whenever you get to a certain point value. But until you get to that threshold, they're really not that bad. And we heard all sorts of things when we were starting, like, oh, don't play the Tau, don't do that because they're too strong. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I was told that the army I chose broke the game.
Yeah, but don't listen to it. Pick the race you want to play, because
and adjust accordingly.
Yeah. Harlequins were supposed to be on the weaker side. They're fun, but on the weaker side, and I chose based on what I liked with Fluff. And, I'm winning a lot of games, so...
The Talcron game.
Yeah, we lost that. That's fine.
They lost it, but they were doing rather well.
We did. That was a close game.
You guys had more of your army left, I think, towards the end.
Well, I lost most of mine, but
well,
that's mostly because of the solitaire. It was a bad game for me. The Raider did well, but that's about it. The Raider always seems to do decent, so I like the Raider. But, it really seems to completely depend on the point value that you're playing at. Some armies are weaker at low, some are weaker at high, and I think the trick to it is sort of finding a point value that is going to be fun for everyone. Mm-hmm. Like I said, that we're probably going to continue to build point values, and
yeah, we will escalate. The
tricky thing with the Harlequins here is we only have 7 units to choose from. That's not an exaggeration. We actually have 7 types of units to choose from for Harlequins. That's part of the reason I married them a little bit to the Dark Eldar. Just gives me a little bit more variety and things to bring. Mm-hmm. That means I don't have a lot of choices in ways to make my army weaker. I don't
have a lot of choices to make them stronger.
I don't. That's also true. Versus the Tau, they have a pretty massive selection of units. It's not. It's
going to see what to change here.
It's not as big as some armies like the Imperial Guard or the the Space Marines probably.
Yeah, but still 72 units, right?
I don't know. It's you. I don't think you have 72, but you have quite a few units to choose from. You have at least 2 troops. You have 2 different types of troops. I have 1. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You have plenty of options. You have a bunch of different elites, a bunch of heavy supports, a bunch of fast attacks. I have 2 fast attacks, 1 troop choice, 1 heavy support choice, and 3 elites, and that's my army. That's what I have to choose from for Harlequins. So it is extremely hard for me to be like, I'll just make my army weaker. The truth is, making it weaker generally involves me trying to guess that this formation will perform poorly. I'm hoping that that's the case, and I think that this would have performed not the best if I didn't have the warlord trait that I had, because the troop just never would have been a factor, and she could have focused all of her attention on everything else. But it is the way it is. It's what we rolled, but just so you guys can sort of see my dilemma when I'm trying to make my faction weaker. However, as we get higher in point value, if Tau actually kind of hit that threshold, it's a little bit easier to make them weaker, because it's like, okay, we'll take away this formation because it's giving you crazy buffs, or take away, don't bring a Riptide, or don't bring this Ghost Keel, or don't,
Yeah,
you can
replace the Riptide with more crisis suits.
Yeah, bring more crisis suits instead of the Riptide. You have choices. You have lots of different ways to bring the Tau, and you can definitely make them work in a fun way for everyone at higher point values, even if they are, what so many people seem to say is, they're by far like the most powerful faction. And like I said, we aren't experienced, so I'm sure that's the case. I'm sure you get not you guys,
experienced Tau players are out there. Teach me. I am open.
Anyways, but I'm sure that's the case because people have been playing longer than us and at higher point values. But most people don't go back to the lower point values once you kind of hit that 1250 to 1500 plus and up threshold. You keep playing at games at that point value because why not? You have the models. It's fun to put them on the table, right? I mean, you want to get them on the table and you want to have
spent that money on that crazy thing. Might as well up the point value and put it in.
And I don't fault people for that. But whenever people talk about the balance, the game isn't just 1500 to 2000 points. For people getting into the game, this is the point value that you're playing at. You start at 500 to 750. You start at 500 to 750, and we're going to put out another video here very soon talking about our experiences starting into this and just some like new player advice, things that we did that we kind of wish we hadn't, things that we're glad we did, and just sort of talk about a lot of our experiences about. So we're holding some of that for later, but without a doubt, balance is definitely relative to the point value because like I said, it's the Tau aren't that powerful at 500 to 750 points. They're not. It's not like
they're not weak.
No, they don't feel weak per se. I mean, they haven't been doing well, but I feel like the Harlequins feel strong at this point value as well. Being able to throw the solitaire on the board, which basically wipes out half your army in one, is kind of insane. Yes. Now, granted, as in the Talcron game, it's an expensive thing to put on the board, so for me to put that on the board is 145 points. So, as in the Talcron game, if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, then I'm probably sunk. But it's kind of a gamble. It either works and I win, or it fails and I don't. And that's sort of the solitaire in a nutshell for you at low points. But, a lot of my units feel like that, though. They're expensive but powerful, have a very high upside to them if they work. And you have a lot of, like, the Death Jesters, you have the mini games, and so they are a very fun, powerful faction at the low point values. But, like I said, just because of the limited options that I have with them, I'm not sure if they're going to become that powerful as we keep going up in points. It's more like you're going to get a little bit more of the same, but you're not going to see, like, like whenever she hits, like, 1,000 points or whatever, and she throws a Riptide on the board, I'm just going to be like,
I will.
Here's another troop. I hope it works. I mean, that's, so I think that's part of it is every army at 500 to 750 points, basically you're just getting their core. And
you're trying to build up from there.
Yeah, you're building out from there. The Harlequins don't have that. Like, what you have at 500 points is what you have at 1,000 points, is what you have at 1,500 points. It is the same units, and you're just putting more of them on the table. And with the Tau, you're getting a core, and then you're, like, putting these high-powered units in there with them now that you have that solid base to build off of. So, whereas a Tau kind of, I think, are going to grow, in, like, large chunks of power, like Harlequins are kind of going to do this like slow build up. So we'll see what happens. I think we've probably rambled enough. Like I said, we're going to put out another video very soon talking about, like I said, the new player experience. Some tips for anyone interested who's been watching us or following us who's interested, because it is very daunting for people to start into this hobby. So, and we're making a lot of all that. Yeah, we're having some discussion on that. It'll probably be about a 15 to 30 minute video, depending on how long we talk. But, anyways, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. We do appreciate it. If you enjoy, please do like and subscribe. It really does help us, spread the word about the channel. It helps us out.
Give you more content.
Yeah. Other random announcement. We are going to be setting up a Facebook page, so yeah.
Yay!
We're probably have things posted to there, such as thoughts about the game, what we're working on a painting, as to whether or not when our videos are coming up. Because right now,
announce new videos, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're a bit random right now, and we understand that. But it's not like we do this for a living. we do this for fun. So we don't. It's hard for us to keep to a schedule because we have a life outside this and commitments and all that stuff. So
money to make it stuff.
Yeah. So as a result, our videos can be a little bit sporadic. Whenever we have time to film stuff, we kind of film them in some of our Let's Play, like Grimful plays or the Angry Rican plays. We film in batches, or we only if they're Space Marine.
He films in batches.
I film in batches.
A little less time.
Yeah. Well, Ollie and Billy. She's like, oh, I got 30 minutes here. I'll film a Space Marine, but may not have time to film another Space Marine for, about 3 to 4 days. I think she's going to try to do one tomorrow.
I will.
And maybe even get a couple done that way, so we can keep posting them with some regularity there, since we're all snowed in, as you guys saw.
Yeah, we are trapped.
But you can. We're going to start a Facebook page. If you guys are interested, you can follow us on Facebook. And you can at least keep up to date. You'll probably get at least a 1 to 3 day warning whenever a video is coming out, so you can be like, oh, cool, this is coming out and blah, blah, blah. And, or this, I don't care about this coming out, so I'm just going to ignore that. I'm going to ignore this channel for a few days, whatever. But I know some of you don't care about our gaming videos, and I know some of you probably don't care about our Warhammer 40K games. But like I said, we kind of do a little bit of everything. So again, I just said we're not going to ramble, but we ramble. I'm bad. So
we just like talking to you guys. We get caught up. The emotions.
Thank you again so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. And I said, please do like and subscribe. It helps us spread the channel. So.
Yeah. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.